Hello all, and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. My goodness, look at all those goddamn pumpkins. That, to be fair, starting up and then seeing just hordes and hordes of pumpkins. I spent an hour indoors in the house just faffing and doing things, trying to organise the fridges. And yeah, that's a lot of pumpkin. That's glorious. That is going to be some fat stacks incoming. Well, since the Junimos are taking care of it, I can go away for a bit. I don't need to worry about the that right now, this instant at least. I have a couple of other things that are, not that they are critically important, but they are things that I want to do first. So, one of the things that I'm going to need to do today, other than deal with the horde of pumpkins, is I need to sort out copper, ore, and bug meat. I also want to get some more crops, so Pierre is lazy and not working in his shop when he should be, as in, I reckon he should be opening the shop the break of dawn because I'm doing things. I mean, for crying out loud, he claims that my produce is his, and yeah. Here's a ridiculous old sausage. And yeah, he should be painfully aware. Okay, so we've given Leo another mango, which is excellent. That's, again, what we're after, what we need to do. When he says about eating raw fish, all I can think of is Gollum. We likes them wriggling and raw. That's honestly all I can think about. It's suitably odd. But hey, if that's how he enjoys fish, that's I mean, I guess that's his choice. It's still very weird. At the same time, I am a fond enjoyer of sushi, so yeah. I think it's one of those oddities that we go, oh, hang on a minute, that's not that weird. It takes a moment for you to go, oh yeah, that's not that weird. Righty, so I'm going to buy some more pumpkin seeds because, well, of course I am. What next, though? One of the other things that I do want to purchase more of is a bit of wheat. Now, I know that wheat is obviously not that useful in the grand scheme of things right now. But there is a method to my madness, believe it or not. For I want to test whether I can plant wheat seeds elsewhere on Ginger Island. Now, I will freely admit I've not tried to plant seeds anywhere else in Stardew Valley outside of the farm. So I am half expecting to get a rebuff going, no, you can't do that because it's not on the farm. But at the same time, there's no major harm in at least trying it, is there? So that's what I'm going to give a go to. I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. It'd be nice if something does. But otherwise, I'm going to head on down in the mines and I'm going to go and find myself, what are they called? The bugs. You know, when you have a bright moment and you just go, yeah, you know, the things that I'm trying to kill, the annoying creatures that need to die. Yeah, the bugs. Yeah. So I'm going to try and go and aim for some of the bugs from floor 40 onwards because they have a likelihood of dropping more bug meat. And shockingly enough, I would rather have more bug meat than less bug meat. I mean, who would have guessed that one? I mean, it's such a peculiar concept, isn't it? But the other advantage is that there is the abundance of fibre, which, of course, fibre might not sound like it's particularly useful, but again, I can use it for a number of different purposes, and it is useful for the Mr. Key Green challenge. So there is reason for me to go after it. And at the end of the day, I've also got the opportunity to murder some slimes, which is good, because the slimes are there and annoying. And again, the creatures do have a chance of dropping some of the more useful random items that you might not expect. Like, I genuinely didn't realise that they could drop the pressured nozzles. Which, my goodness, that was a fantastic thing to discover. Because, yeah, that's really handy. So, yes, there's a few other things that I'm sort of just waiting to see that what shows up. So, yeah, there's some logic going on, I guess, vaguely. So, yeah, we'll see what else sort of pops up. And what else I can do. Now, I guess the main question now is, what else can I obtain from the mines? Now, of course, we're still looking for copper. We're still looking for other materials. But it's some of the other sort of like other smaller scale things that aren't quite as important. So again, the stone is that really, I don't really need very much stone right this instant, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt me having it. But for now, it's not a resource that I'm particularly concerned about, I think is the best way of putting it. So yeah, minimum concern so far on that front. So yeah, what we'll then have a look and do is see what else we can kind of manufacture for myself on that front. Because I still need to make a bunch of other things coming forward. And some of them I'm a bit, not perturbed per se, just I know I need to get them done, but I'm just a bit worried about actually trying to figure out making them, such as doing all the rings and such. Now, I know that's not going to be super, super difficult, but it is something that I need to be aware of, at least, that's something that I need to do. Now, the bugs themselves aren't, again, they're not the biggest concern for me. There are a bunch of other critters that I am more worried about. It's probably the best way of putting it. But it's trying to figure out what am I actually going to... Really, what am I going to worry about? Not much, really, being the main sort of thing I've got to think about on this one. But for now, we're going to just do a little bit more exploring down here. I'm going to slice up some of these more bits of fibre. I'm going to get some more copper. Now, these squid are very annoying. As an enemy that comes to fight you, they're very, very irritating. They should go away. And I'm going to place some of these cherry bombs down and just blow up all these rocks. Because one, it'll get rid of the rocks, and it'll also get rid of the cherry bombs out of my inventory. Because I don't really need such a small level explosive. Much prefer the mega bomb that's literally just above me. And yeah, that's kind of what I'd prefer, which is all well and good. So let's see what we can organize for myself here. Right. I've kind of got to figure out what other things that I can sort of do here for myself. That's well, I know it sounds very silly to sort of like describe it as that, but I'm trying to figure out what other things would be useful for me to try to improve upon the farm at the moment. Now, I've got that other shed being built, and I would like to have that improved to full size. And I've got to try and figure out what can I do with it. And again, sounds very silly, but I know I've got all of the furnaces. I've got some furnaces already, but I think I should probably build some more and just make sure I actually have all of the things that I actually kind of need going forwards. Which, again, might sound like a very daft, weird thing to sort of think about, but there is a reasonable amount of things that I need to put into there. So I've got the 5 chests, the 4 or 5 chests that are the main resource, like, stock holding stuff. Oh, good grief, I'm taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to go home. Whoop, let's get out of here. So I've got those 5 chests there. So these 5 chests, the stone ones along here, are kind of the ones that I'm going to really be manipulating. Now, I'm going to put one of those workbenches in between them so that it can access what they have inside them. Which should make the crafting of all of the things that I haven't done yet a lot easier, which I feel is a reasonably sensible plan in the grand scheme of things, because that way I can kind of just bypass having to worry about it, because, well, I'll just have got them done. But there are quite a few things that I haven't done yet, and that's kind of what's bugging me at the moment. Is there are quite a few things that I know I haven't made, and I am going to have to go through and try and figure out what can I do, what do I need to do, you know, that sort of stuff that's just going to plague me a little bit. So I've got to work that one through at least. So yeah, again, I've got some method to the madness, I've got some ideas of what needs to be done, but at the end of the day I've got to actually figure it out. So let's see what we can do here at least. So I'm going to slap down all of these pumpkins. Look at these, just hordes of pumpkins. So I've just harvested a silly amount of them, and especially since I've harvested the ones that the Junimos couldn't reach. I've harvested them personally, which again makes sense to me. So there is a lot that I still need to kind of organise on that front. So we'll try and get that sorted, at least. Now, what else can we do here today? So I've got all these bloody fish that need harvesting. That's fine. I mean, it's not like the end of the world sort of level. They are somewhat annoying, however, having got so many of the damn things. So we'll just have to deal with that, won't we? After that, however, I'm not entirely sure what's going to be the best plan of action, honestly. So I have to give it a go. Right, I'm going to chisel out this bit of soil, because that area, though yes, it's not ideal with its saturation of coverage from the Junimo, but it is better than it could be. It's something rather than nothing. At least I'm using that land, and that's really what I'm driving for on that one, is actually using it. And I'd rather have that more than anything, because actually being able to use it and actually grow something is significantly better than doing nothing with it, I feel. So yeah, that's the plan of action on this one at least. Now, we've got lots more of the mayonnaise to go through here. I say lots more. There's a little bit, because the laying frequency, of course, of dinosaurs is lower than other creatures that are out around and about, essentially. So yes, there's some trade-offs with that, but it's not really the end of the world. So let's grab what we have in here. So that's some more starfruit stuff, which is good. And we'll just slap some pumpkins in. We've got 8. Done. Smash bosh. The other thing I want to do is just sell these iridium quality pumpkins right off the bat. That's going to be the best plan of action, I feel. And once we've done that, that'll be great. Okay, so we'll sort that out. Now what? So let's pop the pumpkin seeds away. So we did plant quite a lot of pumpkins again, which kind of makes sense because there was a lot of pumpkins for us to harvest. Although, again, yes, they were mostly harvested by the Junimo. Now, one of the other things that we've got to sort out whilst we're here is let's have a dabble and see. Let's see if it works. I'm inanely curious to see if what I want to try and do here will work. I hope it does, because then I can use some of the land to just grow some crops. Again, maybe not like the most useful thing in the world, because what I want to plant down here is wheat. And wheat isn't, again, the most profitable of plants, but it does have an added advantage over some of the others, in that it has the ability to grow, and, well, I say the ability to grow, like all the plants don't have the ability to grow. So it has the ability to give you hay as part of its yields, and that's something that I kind of need. Because going forward, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right when it comes to the grass that is being grown around the animal grazing areas. And I don't know if I'm saturating it enough. And it means that I'm a bit concerned, really, in the grand scheme of things, because I don't think I'm going to end up with an actually decent amount of hay over the winter period. And that concerns me a little bit, because of course I want my animals to be well fed. So yeah, I'm genuinely not concerned, but I know it's something that I should be aware of, I think, is probably the best way of putting it. So obviously, as we've tested, it doesn't work. Can't plant there whilst we're outside of the farm, which is disappointing, but understandable, sadly. So, yes, it's frustrating. I guess I'll have to deal with it. Again, it's just a c'est la vie. We deal as we go forth. So, yeah, that's a bit annoying, but there's not really much else I can do with regards to that, is there? So, yes, that's kind of what we have to deal with right now. But we've still made 362,000 today. So that's a lot of preserves. We've got some of the wine being sold. We made a good old crack of cash. The spreading weeds have caused damage to your farm. Where are there weeds? What? I mean, there shouldn't be any damage. Again, that's very peculiar. I'm not sure what it actually is talking about there. Because it's not like I've left any weeds just lying around being obtrusive and in the way. Is it? Well, let's just check in the cellar. So we still got some time to wait on that one. That's fine. Child is happy. That's good. Right, so I'm going to make a few other bits of food. Because, well, it seems reasonably sensible for one to do so. Okay, so grab some more bait. So we've got some more pumpkins that are ready for harvest, but because it's raining, the Junimos won't do anything. So I am going to actually have to deal with that myself. It's not really the end of the world, it's just something that I am going to have to do. So I will deal with that momentarily. But we're going to quickly investigate the stash of gubbins. So let's just stash that there. So I've got a lot of diamonds, actually. I'm going to sell a good chunk of them. I don't really need that many diamonds. And again, money. Because money. I think that's really just going to be the answer for everything I go like, but hear me out. Money. Because yes, money. So let's sort that one out for us, shall we? Okay, so we're going to get all these pumpkins up, so that's good. And the pumpkins themselves, they're not going to be too bad. I mean, the ones that have come up as iridium will be just sold straight away. I think the silver ones and basic ones I should probably be turning into pickled things. But the gold ones, maybe I should sell them as well. Yes, they do have a lower return than the iridium ones, shockingly enough. But I don't know how much comparatively that is in the grand scheme of things. So I do need to test that myself to see. So let's just quickly plant these back down. That's all good. And what next? Come on, let's grab these pumpkins. We've got many things to do. Many things. Come on. Ugh. It is the tricksy bit of actually planting. It's the frustrating edge of actually having to replant everything. It's like, oh goodness gracious, there's so many of them to actually do. That's so annoying. Yes, it's not the end of the world, but it is still somewhat annoying. Right, so we'll get that all sorted. Right, so well, that's a bunch more pumpkins. We've got quite a stock of them now, which again makes sense. We've been really primarily trying to invest in pumpkin generation, which again quite reasonable, I feel. So let's see how well this goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm not expecting a silly amount, but I am hoping that we can end up with a decent quantity of pumpkin pickles and preserves going forward. They're not too difficult to make, I don't feel. Well, they really honestly shouldn't be super difficult to do, but they are a thing that I do need to be aware of more than anything. So let's crack that through and see what else we can organise. Well, that's looking a lot better. We've laid out a bit of the fun. Is it? I wonder if it's talking about these patches of grass as weeds. Let's just scythe down that little bit of fibre. Now, I'd never actually planted the fibre seeds, so I was quite pleased to see what they actually did, and, you know, giving you a stack of extra fibre. But there was nothing near them, so I don't really know if it was that it claimed about. I mean, you see this little strip of grass up there? Is that what it was talking about? I honestly wish I knew. It is kind of frustrating that I don't really know what it was saying. Like, it didn't give me like a location as to where stuff was going wrong, where it had taken damage from stuff. So, bit flummoxed, but again, we'll have to live with that. But for now, we're going to do what we can and make ourselves some other goodies, really. Plant that down, that's good. Right, now, what other stuff can we kind of organise here? Well, we could probably no, we can grab those at least. And again, I can turn these into fertilizer again, but there's not really a huge amount of point, is there? But at the same time, some more quality fertilizer is probably not going to hurt to have, at least. And I know I've missed out one pumpkin, so I'm going to slap that down. There we go. So make some quality fertilizer. Again, I've got the sap for it, so it's not the end of the world. And I'd rather have a lower quality fertilizer on the land than no fertilizer, I think is probably the best way of putting it. So, kind of go with that, I guess. So yeah, that's going to be my logic for now, at least. So, let's see what other things can we sort out. Well, got some more eggs, which is stuff that I've had stashed away for a little while. I think after I had some detonation issues, I've managed to make a better response. Which, yes, I do feel a little bit silly about, but, you know, we do what we can. Make do and make mend, it's all good. And yes, I do feel very ridiculous about the fact that I did screw up ever so slightly with that. But, you know, the bombing my own stuff was very annoying. I feel very stupid for it. I think understandably so. So I'm annoyed. I just hope that I can not do that again. I'm doing what I can to try to avoid it by not carrying them. Now, as you can see, we've got Leo up to the maximum relationship. So that is best friends with everyone now, which is fantastic news. That means that I just have to craft every item and cook every recipe. So there's 2 recipes that I don't have. I don't know what they are. Well, I mean, I know where they sit on the map of like the instructions of what you can cook. But what they are is a very different question. And that I do not know. And as part of that, I don't know what resources I'm going to need to make them. Hopefully, if it's one that, like, for example, requires fish, it's not too bad. Like, I already have it. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm just going to quickly grab this chest and I'm going to put it inside the shed and prepare the... oh, fiddlesticks. It's not yet... I haven't upgraded it yet. Oh... Yes, because if I put it down before the upgrade, I'll have to move it anyway. Ugh, that was stupid. Well, back into the inventory you go. Go on. Be gone with it. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now. That is very annoying. I am somewhat frustrated with myself on that one, but again, we live. We make mistakes, we live and learn. But oh well. Right, so. Now, that's a little bit better. We have a bit more cleared out of the inventory, at least. So I think that's going to be a thing really going forwards, is I'm going to be clearing out my inventory and making sure it sort of makes sense going forward. Which, again, not too difficult, I don't think. And, yeah, that's going to be the kind of the game plan for now. I need to make sure that that is exactly what I do. Because, yes, I kind of need to just be organised, be sensible, get things done. And being organised is not my strongest suit. But at least I can quickly get her to build myself this big shed. And I'm feeling reasonably confident. I'm feeling more confident now than I did at the beginning of the fall or autumn season. In that, I'm now at 5.3 million. This is making me feel a bit more confident about the capability of myself to actually get to the 10 million mark. I'm still not expecting that it'll happen. I'm very much hoping it does, because as I set myself the challenge to achieve perfection before the end of year 3, it is indeed what I want to do. I'm not expecting it, but my fingers are crossed. But I am going to be trying very hard to do so. I am going to work my damn cotton socks off to make sure I can at least try and achieve it. And that's, I feel, a reasonable desire. Because it's not like it's I'm asking for something ridiculous, I don't think. Maybe. I mean, maybe I am. Maybe I am asking for something absolutely beyond common sense and is absolutely bonkers. But it's a goal that I have, and I'm not expecting it to be easy. Oh, goodness, no. But it's something that I'm going to try, at least. And that's what I'm going for, at least attempting to get it done. And I don't think that's a terrible choice, is it? To attempt to get something done that you want to kind of drive on with. Oh, goodness, that's a lot of copper, isn't it? Well, that's bombable, methinks. So we're going to detonate a bomb here and do what we can with this one. So let's slice up some stuff, though, while we're here. And move away, because no, my luck, I would end up injuring myself. So 25 copper ore, that's not bad. That's a good chunk, which is nice. Okay, so let's mine up this radioactive ore. We've killed the bug. Again, because these bugs have a habit of dropping more meat, and because I've got the burglar's ring on at the moment, again, I've got a likelihood of getting more bug meat out of each of them, which is going to make doing the purple challenge much easier. Because that's kind of what I'm driving towards, is that. Because, shockingly enough, I want to get that done. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm after. Now, let's just mine that up, and we're going to stab up these bloody squid. They are, I mean, yes, they're not the hardest hitting of things, but they hit a lot harder than I'd expected for this early in the cave system, and they are very annoying. I very much wish they would go away. And it would be nice if they would just do the decent thing and buzz off. Because I've got things that I want to do. Which unfortunately are involving getting rid of these damn bugs. Damn bugs. I mean, it's not quite a full-on, I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive, of Starship Troopers. Ah, that was a classic ridiculous maybe, wasn't it? Righty. So yeah, we're doing okay, I think. We have a plan. Might not be a very good one, but we have a plan. And it is going okay. We're killing a lot of bugs. We've got a lot of bug meat already from stuff so far. So I think what I might do is disappear back to the farm sooner rather than later, I think. Yes, I'm erring on the side of caution a smidge, mostly because I'm aware that I no longer wear the Phoenix ring. And, of course, the Phoenix ring being the one that allows you to revive once a day, fantastically useful, but I am finding that having the Burglar's ring and the Immunity to Slimes ring is a little bit more useful. However, I am taking a lot of damage here, probably due to the fact that I am fighting like an idiot and running into stuff, and it's a miracle I haven't blown myself up with a bomb yet. I mean, I've not actually killed myself with a bomb yet. I'm expecting there will be a day that it happens, and I'll be like, ha ha, I am a moron. But, you know, that's how this goes. So, we're going to staberize those, and again, we stab one of those little diglet things, whatever they are. I forget what they're actually called. Duggies, that's the thing, Duggies. Very annoying little critters. Go away. But, you know, once they're dead, it's not too bad. Right. Okay, so we're back in here. We've got some more stuff that we need to organise, haven't we? Ooh, lummy daisy. Let's probably the best way of putting it, isn't it? Lummy daisy. Yes, as you can tell, I'm got a bit of a weird twang of words at the moment. I'm going with bizarre. For no real reason. One of the things that, well, I say real reason. One of the things that I have realised that I'm doing is, in real life, I try to not swear when I do the videos and such. But it is something that I'm painfully aware I do a little bit too much. I think working bars for as long as I have, not giving a damn is kind of a thing. I mean, if I swear, so what? Why does that matter? But I am aware that it has crept into my regular daytime, and I need to get it to go away. There are, obviously, I know when to not swear, especially during certain workplaces, but sometimes, you know, a word will slip out and you go, ah, bottoms, I didn't want to do that. So yes, it is a thing that I need to be annoyedly aware of. So yes, that's something that I've got to deal with. So yes, you're probably going to hear me say some very bizarre things going forwards. I mean, Fiddlesticks and Buncombe is, I would consider, quite low end, but there are going to be a lot more odd going forward from here. So don't be too surprised, is all I can say on that front. So yes, that is my explanation for my weirdness of late. Now I'm going to just quickly throw the bug meat in there. We've got the iron, the copper in there. So that is everything. Excellent. So we've completed Mr. Key's colour challenge. So we've got 41 more. I don't know what to purchase, though, to be fair. And the thing is, I want to try and do the catching of the other fish, but I know that's not always the easiest. So I am aware that I'm going to need to be a bit more prepared to do that, because I need to try to catch them, multiple of them, in the same day. And that's going to be the tricksy bit, I think. Yes, I know I've done it before, but there were a number of times where I had to spend a few days trying to catch them. So unless they are more likely to appear... But then again, using the curiosity lure is a good way of improving their predisposition to appearing, at least. But for now, I'm just going to harvest all of these crops that are lovingly saturating my Ginger Island farm. I've got all of these cranberries, corn, blueberries, and pineapples. The pineapples are going to be useful for being turned into jellies and jams. The cranberries and blueberries, well, they're probably going to just get sold for the time being, because although they're helpful, they aren't as useful in the grand scheme of things as the more valuable crops like pineapples. I think pineapples are like the third most valuable fruit. So that is a thing that I'm going to sort of look at a bit more so. Which is, you know, all well and good. So there is, again, method to the madness. So we've got lots of sap again, which is, again, a very useful resource that I can obtain here on Ginger Island. And trying to use the grass as much as possible for things like that is kind of my aim. So, again, I've got some method to the madness. Just hopefully it's enough. It's probably the best way of putting it, isn't it? Right. So what else can we achieve? I guess that's the big question, isn't it? What else can we do today? So that's a rare seed, that one on the top right of the starfruit area. And it was one of those weird things that I couldn't remember what they actually looked like, because I haven't grown them for so long. And again, that's something else that I sort of need to sort of figure out. yes, they do take a long time to grow, but are they worth it? When it comes, like, the sweet gem berries, that's the thing. And they're pretty valuable, I think. I would suggest. So I don't know what the sort of return rate, because they do take quite a long time to grow. Also, it's acquiring the rare seeds. That's the tricksy bit, I think. So, yeah. There's some plans going forward. How well they'll go, we'll see. Right. Now, I do need to just quickly check on a couple of things. Our Queen of Sauce, you say? Trout soup. Ah! One of the two. There's one recipe left. One recipe left. Now, where the hell is trout soup? I mean, obviously it's in here somewhere, but do I have the ingredients to make it? Is that it? No. Well, it looks like a soup. Trout soup! And I had a rainbow trout and a single green algae. Oh, that's perfect. Oh. Mwah. Full-on chef's kiss. That is fantastic. That is done. I've achieved. There's one more to go. Ooh, and lots of ancient fruit there. Now, I mentioned earlier that this week I wanted to test how much does an iridium quality ancient fruit wine sell for versus an iridium quality starfruit wine. I conveniently have a singular starfruit wine here. I am going to place it in one of these barrels. And I am going to put ancient fruit in the others for now. So let's see. If it is that ancient fruit sells for better, fantastic. That means that I don't have to change anything. If it is that starfruit sells for more, I'm going to feel like a right wally. I mean, yes, the ancient fruit wine is a pretty thing. It looks nice. But my goodness, am I going to feel dumb as hell? And that's going to annoy me. Probably the best way of putting it. It's going to annoy me endlessly. So, let's just hope that that is not the case. Because that's going to make me very sad. So yes, we're going to give it a go at least. We're going to give it a try and see what we can do. And hopefully we'll be okay. Because I will be very frustrated with myself if it is the case that that is not the most valuable. I'll understand it, but it'll be very annoying. Righty. Anyway, whilst I'm rambling, I need to quickly check inside. And look, there's a bunch of ancient fruit that's ready. So, let's get all that harvested. I mean, I'm quite pleased that I have like a greenhouse full of this stuff. I mean, it's nice to have. So, I mean, it's good and all. It's a thing. And I guess that if I'm not really trying to industrially produce, comparatively, yeah, I mean, it's a thing. So yeah, it's going to be something I'm going to have to think about. But yeah, we're going to grab all these ancient fruit and we're going to slap them in to do their thing. That's good. Now, let's get the other crops that we've got in here. So we've got lots of fruit that's going to be turned into wines and preserves. And again, that's kind of where we're going for this. We want as many wines and as many preserves to be available for me to muck about with, because it'll make my life easier. If I have the stockpile. And the thing is, I do have quite a comprehensive stockpile of crops already, which is a good thing, I think, because that's a sensible plan, at least I feel, to have. And again, got all these pumpkins, which unfortunately, being that it's chucking it down with rain, the lazy Junimo are not coming out. I wonder if they melt in the rain. But I've got a few gaps, so maybe I should... oh, my inventory's a little bit full. Should probably sort that out, shouldn't I? Okay. Right. So, let's see. Where should we put them? That's going to be the next question, really, isn't it? Where do we put them for now? Right, we'll slap that in there. And we'll go into the preserve shed and slap some stuff in here. Again, sensible. All the pineapples even, because again they're fantastically valuable. That's good. And I guess I could put other pineapples elsewhere. I think. And the other option is I could just start selling them. I don't know really. Ooh, look at that! It's a large swath of starfruit, so we're gonna. I think we'll make some starfruit wine and starfruit jelly, which is good. And again, we're just using our resources up that we've got. Because, again, we kind of want to get that done. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And if I can actually end up with a decent production of starfruit versus, well, the other resources, then we're pretty much golden, at least, I think. So that's good. Let's see. What else can we do here now? Well, I don't really need some stone. That can get sold. Don't really care about that for now. And that's not really the end of the world. And I think what I've got to consider for my end game goal of trying to get the 10 million before the end of the year is... I would wager I probably have a bunch of resources that I could, in theory, sell. That probably don't matter as much as I'm really thinking about that they do. And that's going to be another sort of like another something that I'm sort of debating. Do I need all of the resources that I've got? Do I need to worry about them all? Because it probably is going to be a sort of like a genuine consideration of, do I need all of these? Because again, I'm a terrible hoarder, and I've definitely made mention of it in the past. I find it difficult to use items, let alone get rid of them. It's genuinely a thing that I've struggled with in a lot of like turn-based strategy games. I have a great love for games like that, like Final Fantasy. But I am absolutely painfully terrible at remembering to use the items that I have, which kind of bites me in the ass, honestly. And I really wish I was better at actually using items. So it's one of the things that I strive to do. Maybe that should be something I should do, is actually a playthrough of something like one of the earlier Final Fantasy games, and just use that as a I'm trying to do something dumb, and we'll see how hilariously dumb that goes. Because you know it could be very funny. Honestly, it'd be very entertaining potentially. So we'll see. We'll see. Right, so we've made that pumpkin. Oh no, I can't go there because that's in the way of the chest. Ugh. Let's just stick it somewhere. Bleh. There? Yeah, fine. That'll do. It's not great, but it'll... umming and ahhing over that one. Right, it'll do. It will do. And that's all I can say. That all that matters is, yes, it'll do. So... the thing that I'm considering there is I knew that I hadn't made the jack-o'-lantern. So, it's good that we now have. So the next question is, what next? What's going to be the next best thing for me to make? Excuse me. Got hiccups now. How inconvenient. Right, well that's on the blackberry. So the blackberries themselves, again, not super important right now, but again, we can sell them. Right, so we've shipped out the cranberries to Zuzu City. So that's going to give us a reward tomorrow on Monday. What can I purchase from you? I'll probably need some more pumpkins, to be fair, won't I, at this point? Which is not the end of the world. It's slightly annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Because I don't think it's going to take me below the 5 million, which we'll hope that it doesn't. Right. Let's ride on back to the farm. Now, I'm still kind of debating what other things do I need. For the purposes of, well, doing all of my shenanigans. And that's kind of going to be it, isn't it? So we've got all the pumpkins. We're slapping them down. Now, what I am going to have to consider is how quickly can I get a decent amount of resources like grown. So what I'm looking at the moment really is when it comes towards the end of the season, the next pumpkin harvest is going to be, well, unfortunately, the last one of the season. So what crops could I feasibly grow that I could harvest before the end of the winter? And that's the consideration I've got to make. I'm thinking, well, wheat, which is very dull, but it is something, at least. And that's kind of what I'm sadly thinking about. Like, what can I actually get that's going to be vaguely useful at this point? So, yeah, that's kind of going to be it, isn't it? It's just going to have to be wheat. There's no ifs, and no buts about it, sadly. It's going to be wheat. It's very dull. I'm painfully aware. It's not going to be exciting, but it is what I'm going to have to use. Because, yeah, there's not much else, honestly, that I could use. Sadly. So, that's a bit depressing, really, when I think about it. But it is kind of what we've got. Ah, well. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. It's what we've got. It's what we've got available. And that's fine. But it is all that we have. So, let's see what other gubbins that we can actually kind of achieve here. Well, we've got lots more mayo, which is great. So that must have been the ostrich egg giving me a stack of 10, which is lovely and all. So, yeah, it's kind of what we're going to get going for. So what else can we kind of do? There's a lot of umming and ahhing at the moment, isn't there? That's the problem. Now, again, I could also look at the production of the animals a bit more. Now, it's not something that I really focus a lot on. Is what can I gather from the animals? Because most of my money, and I will not really shamelessly admit, but it comes predominantly from what are they called? From the crops rather than the animals. Again, how did I forget the word for crops? Good grief, I'm having one of those days already. I think that's a common trend of me in these videos, is I just go, aha, the English language. I can make it sound good, but I can't remember half of it. Goodness gracious. Okay, a wild plum. I think I've probably got one of those in the kitchen. I could probably take that to Evelyn right away. That'd be nice. Now, I know that it's not something I need to critically worry about, because I've already got all the friendships up. But it is something that wouldn't be a bad thing for me to remember to do. Partly because money. Money, money, money. Okay, so my child has the zoomies. Which, to be fair, an animal having the zoomies is adorable and hilarious. Genuinely, watching my guinea pigs have the zoomies is one of the cutest little things going. It's very cute. Because they're just running around their hutch being like... Makes me very happy. And again, yeah, I'm never going to deny that I love my guineas. I think just animals in general, they're a guilty pleasure, man. I like having lots of them. So it feels very strange that I only have the 2 at the moment. Because 5 was the most guinea pigs that I had. And that is in 3 separate hutches, because being that they were all boys, it's unfortunate. I couldn't have them all in one hutch. Whereas, like, with girls, you can. Female guinea pigs are less prone to territorial grumpiness. But they are adorable. All of them are. I love guinea pigs. Alright, so let's see what we can gather from our... not really fishing excursion, but our little quick trip to the beach. I mean, hopefully something. That'd be nice. Yeah. I guess that's the big question, really, of it all, isn't it? What else can we actually gather from this? And there's not a huge amount, actually, that is available to me right now. That's somewhat frustrating. Oh, well. Right. So, I've grabbed the fairy dust, because I'm going to throw that onto the barrel. The one on the left here. This one I know has the starfruit wine in. So there we go. What I should do is probably just replace it with another ancient fruit, just to be on the safe side. Now, if it is the case that ancient fruit wine is not as valuable, we are too late in the year for it to make a difference. Because the stuff that I am putting in now will not be ready for 2 seasons. It's 56 days it takes to age the wine to iridium quality. It's only going to start making an effect on year 4. Unless I use fairy powder to speed up the production. But as quite rightly pointed out to me by Khan Wolf, it's not worth as much as if I was to sell the individual components versus the aged wine. So this is going to rankle me ever so slightly. And I guess this is the sort of the point where I'm just sort of like umming and ahhing and debating on this one. I think what I'm going to have to do is sweat it out. Really? Going to have to wait and see. But let's get stuff going at least. So we've got more stuff that we need to smelt. I definitely need some the prismatic shard. I wish I had some rubies, because they're attack upgrades. Right, now I'm going to go back to Ginger Island, and I'm going to head to the volcanoes. Partly, first off, to test out the dagger as a fun stabby implement, to give things a good stabbing. But otherwise, it's to allow myself to level it up with regards to what can I give it? What can I get it to do? You know, what things can I make my dagger do? And that is going to be a question. And as bizarre as that will sound, that the dagger itself, obviously fantastically helpful, but what is it going to end up taking on as its ability by using the prismatic shard? So let's see, what have we got? A vampiric dagger. Now that could be handy, because if I have a vampiric weapon, if I get given the challenge by Mr. Key again to go far down into the Skull Caves without eating anything, combine that with the vampiric ring that I've got, that way I'll be pretty safe, really, thinking about it. I'm very unlikely to end up keeling over. So that could be a useful trick, I think. So I think that's gonna work out well for me. Hopefully. So yeah, that's the plan on this one. Yeah. What else can we kind of wrangle as well? That's going to be the big question, isn't it? Right, so we're going to stab our way through these monsters whilst we're here at least. I'm going to try out the dagger a bit, and we might get a ruby. It'd be nice. Be helpful. I mean, it's definitely something I need. So yeah, we're going to give it a go. I'm going to mine our way through this stuff and see what we can get. So grab myself some magma cap, grab that. So there's lots of critters wafting around that need to die. These blasted flame sprites. Go away. Shoo! Again, being vampiric, I don't know if it's every hit. I don't think it is. But at least it did something. I guess it's probably the best way of putting it. It's at least something. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for at this point, is at least it's something. Right, go away. And the trouble is I'm defaulting to the sword because it's in my number one position. And that is just how I tend to use weapons, is like, if it's the first one there, therefore it is the weapon of choice. It's you know how this works. So we'll give it a go. Right. Guess the next big question is, what else can I do? Because what I'm also debating is figuring out what other things that I can gather from this this useful stronghold. I guess one of the other things that I could probably intensively do as well is actually try getting far down into Skull Caves and see what resources I can obtain from it. Because yes, there's a good opportunity for general resourcery. You know, resourcery as if it's a wizard. Again, how do I not fall down more? But yes, there's a good opportunity to gather some good resources whilst down there. But the earlier I go down, of course, the better. Because yes, shock and horror, if I can spend an entire day down there, that's fantastic. If I can't, well, that's a shame. It's not the end of the world, but it would be better if I could spend the whole day down in the mines. Which I'm painfully aware is a thing that I should probably be aware of as a thing that I want to try to do. So, you know, there is method to the madness, and we have an idea of what would be a good plan of action. And striving my way down in the mine, in Skull Caves, it's a good shout. But for now, I'm going to sort all our inventory out, I'm going to put everything away, and prepare myself to bid everyone a fond farewell. So thank you if you have tuned in and enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe. They always do help. And do comment, as I always do, try to have a look and see what I can do. And now we're going to do that very quick analysis of the wine. 6,300 versus 4,620. Damn it, starfruit wine's more valuable. Well, at least we know. So, hopefully we'll catch you again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.